for joining us. I have with me Ryan Houston and Daniel Tam, two of my coworkers here at Optigo, and three of us spend a lot of time sitting together poring over Wireshark files in Visual BACnet, trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And so I'm really excited to spend some time troubleshooting with them today and show you exactly what we do on a daily basis here at Optigo. So we have about 5 more minutes. We want to take a look at that university one quickly, see if we can. I'm going to challenge you to see what you can do in 5 minutes.
5 minutes. You want to do 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. University. Let's go.
I'm not even going to get context from Steve. I'm just we're going.
Okay. What do we have? 76%. Do we have
98% non-BACnet. So very little BACnet traffic.
Very little BACnet traffic in here, that's correct. But based on the little amount of BACnet traffic that we have, there are quite a few unresponsive devices.
But no unresponsive routers.
That means the routers are up, the routers are happy.
But the devices are not.
But we do have some global whois router, that's interesting. So right away, before I started tackling this, I always like to check in the bottom and see what's going on here. This is all pretty good. BACnet traffic, the broadcast rate's low, but this is interesting, the global whois router. What this is telling me is that your routers are online, routers are not overloaded. What this tells me is all of these sources are looking, they're scanning the entire network and saying, okay, everyone give me their path. Tell me who you're connected to, and let me know what all the router paths is so I can let the rest of the network know. So if you want to go from here to here, I can tell you. So all of these, how many entries? We have 50 entries here that are doing the same thing.
And if we drill down into this one, you can see that it's actually sending out the request every 2 minutes consistently.
So this would lead us to configuration. There's something in the configuration that sends out this global whois router request every 2 minutes from all these sources. It's quite a bit of traffic. It's definitely unnecessary. Once you get the information from a router that comes online, that should be it. It should never change.
And we see some other sources are sending the same request out every half hour. So which is more acceptable than every 2 minutes?
Yeah, that's we see a lot of that. Sometimes some devices are just configured to ask that. They reset their router table. If you can reduce it, it's good because then you don't have unnecessary traffic. But hopefully your network's not changing every half hour that you need it to be asking that often. But it may or may not be reconfigurable. It
depends on the device. Sometimes when you put a device online, it goes, I have routed a network and I'm here to dominate the world. And it lets you know and updates everyone's table. Sometimes you have to ask. So that's where the issue is here. So you would have to go in. Obviously, we don't know anything about the application here, so you would have to go in and modify this.
And then those duplicate devices.
No duplicates here?
Yeah, devices. Sorry, unresponsive devices.
Right.
Sorry, I knew it was devices. So these guys, again, same as the networks, they may or may not exist. So hopefully Steve has a table, a list of all the devices on his network. Often he can even glance and go, whoa, number 4, or, oh yeah, no, that's a different numbering scheme, so it makes sense that it's completely different.
Wow, odds are that some of these, this number here, the 4194, I believe that's the highest range in BACnet. So that can't be a possible number. Number 4, very unlikely it's a real device, probably some sort of testing code.
And you also see like consecutive device ID, like 1677050515253.
Yeah, these ranges.
So he's saying he does have some different device numberings, and he knows that he has his device tables, but he has 2 different vendors. So lots of fun keeping track of the different devices for different vendors.
Well, that's why we're here, is to manage our vendors. So the interesting part about it too is you can actually figure out where it's coming from, right? So when we look at this guy's, somebody's looking for it, device is online. But when you click on him, the guy who's looking for it is this guy. So that's easy. At least we narrow it down. It's like, okay, at first, I know there's a device online. Okay, now I say, oh, it's coming from this guy. So I can go straight to the controller and figure out the data exchange on why it's looking for that guy.
So if it's offline, it should exist, go to that device, fix it, figure out why it's offline. If that device shouldn't exist, find the source who's talking to it, reconfigure. And that's the same for anything that's offline or unresponsive. So
what's actually happening is this guy's saying, I am looking for this device, right, specifically. So who is? If somebody says, I want to send data over there, the guy goes, okay, how do I get there? Here's the route. Where is this guy? So that's what's happening here.
You have 30 seconds on your 1 minute challenge.
30 seconds? How are we doing?
5 minute challenge.
So sometimes for NPDU, you'll see a source address and source network instead of the IP. Use that source network and source address instead, because the IP may just be the IP of the router.
It's possible. But in this case, it's actually the IP of the router.
IP of the device.